From fire-breathing beasts to reborn birds and seductive sea spirits, mythic monsters show up in every corner of the world. But they aren't just fantasy creatures. These are symbols, reflections of the human soul, our fears, our desires, and what we've never quite been able to control. Today we're diving into dragons, phoenixes, and mermaids, seeing what they really represent. Let's talk power, transformation, and the deep, dark water of the human psyche. Now, dragons are everywhere, from China to Mesopotamia to medieval Europe, and they're completely different depending on where you look. Now, in the West, dragons are greedy winged beasts. Think Smaug or the dragon in Beowulf. They breathe fire, they hoard gold, and they kidnap princesses at a high rate. Knights fight them to prove their worth, a metaphor for overcoming chaos, desire, or the shadow self. In Christianity, dragons became a symbol of the devil, of temptation, pride, and the wild forces of nature that must be conquered. But in the East, in China, dragons are celestial. They command the weather, especially rain. They're wise, long-bodied, associated with emperors and harmony. Rather than chaos, they represent the balance of nature and humanity's role within it, not above it. The psychological symbolism of dragons still remains. They are the ultimate test. Do you run from the fire or learn to walk through it? They're the embodiment of raw power, sometimes to be feared, sometimes to be mastered. Your culture decides whether you fight your instincts or ride them. Now, the phoenix, it's not just one myth, it's a global idea, and it always burns itself down. The Kemetic Bennu bird was tied to the sun god Ra and symbolizes dawn, rising each morning after the darkness. In Greek myth, Herodotus described a fiery bird that dies inflamed and is reborn from its own ashes every 500 years. In Persia and Hindu traditions, similar firebirds symbolize purity, sacrifice, and the cyclical nature of the universe. Even early Christians adopted the phoenix as a symbol of resurrection and eternal life. And why it resonates. The phoenix is a spiritual cheat code we all crave. Destruction doesn't mean the end, it's part of the process. The job, the relationship, the version of yourself you outgrew, burden, and then rise anew. It's not just feel-good mysticism. It's a lesson in transmutation, in letting go. No longer burning down what no longer serves you so something new can be born, something stronger, purified, and necessary. The phoenix teaches us that collapse isn't failure, it's transformation. Mermaids. Beautiful, dangerous, mysterious. Mermaids and their global sisters are rarely what they seem to be. From West Africa to Japan, we have Mami Wata in Africa and the Caribbean lore as a seductive, powerful, and being dual-natured. She brings wealth and healing, or madness and destruction. Greek sirens weren't even mermaids originally. They were bird women. They evolved into sea temptresses whose songs pull sailors to their death. The Selkies in Scottish myth were seal people who shed their skins to become human, only to be trapped by lovers who stole their magic. The Japanese Ninjago were fish-like beings who were captured during storms or disasters. Eating one's flesh, however, could grant immortality. Now, what do they all have in common? The unconscious, the emotional deep end. They symbolize temptation, beauty, emotional power, and a fear of losing control. We're drawn to them, but we don't know there's danger there. They represent the kind of love or obsession that can drown you if you're not guided. They are the original femme fatales, not evil but unchained, not monstrous but very much unpredictable. They're what happens when power and sensuality meet mystery. These monsters endure because they speak something real. Dragons show us how we view power, either as a beast to slay or a force to ride. Phoenixes give us hope that even in total collapse, something meaningful can rise. And mermaids mirror our inner depth, beautiful, emotional, and dangerous when ignored. These are not just myths. These are stories taken from our ancestors on how to survive, how to evolve, and how to feel. So the next time you dream of fire, feathers, or deep water, ask yourself, what part of you is trying to speak? Join me again if you have more questions about mythical creatures and their origins or other stories about gods.